18th. I'm Avisha Scarborough. May is National Mental Health Awareness Month, so we have an amazing show for you today all about mental health, starting with Brett Rapkin. He is the executive producer of The Paradise Paradox, a film all about mental health in mountain towns. We will also be joined by Scott Doniger. He is a chronic stress counselor. And lastly, we have Dr. Heather Hans. She is a psychotherapist giving us tips on how to live our best lives. Good Morning Vail starts now.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
Hey, it's your boy, Nephew Tommy, your host for an all-new season of Black College Quiz, where the nation's best and brightest display their knowledge of Black history and culture while competing for prizes and scholarships. So get ready to see HBCU Nation take the academic field. Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Yeah, man.
Hi, it's Julio from TV8 Vail. Do you ever wonder why our tagline is "There's more for you" on 92? Because we're always bringing you more. More Good Morning Vail from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. all year long. More local coverage with Vail Vibes and Covered Bridge on TV8. More opportunities to participate with new roundtable panels on mountain perspectives. And our expanded Spanish programming block. Find us on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92, on YouTube, or our website, tv8vail.com.
Welcome to Hiring America, the television program that helps veterans find jobs and transition back into civilian life. Hi everyone, I'm Gigi Stone Woods. I'm truly honored to host this vital program. Reach out to the opportunities you see on this program by logging on to our website, hiringamerica.net, and by following us on social networking sites such as Twitter. We'll keep that information available throughout the broadcast and on our website 24/7. Now, let's get down to business.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. As I mentioned before, May is National Mental Health Awareness Month, and we have an amazing guest. He is the executive producer of a documentary on a very important topic. It's called Paradise Paradox, and it highlights mental health issues in mountain towns like ours here in Vail. Welcome, Brett.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Good to see you. So I'm going to talk all about your film, Paradise Paradox, in a moment. But first, I want to show the viewers the trailer so they can see what it's about.
I think people move to mountain towns for the freedom, the adventure.
The most beautiful thing about this community is that it's for everybody.
Every mountain town you go to, you either have these super high highs or super low lows, and the whole town rides these waves.
Tourism is the lifeblood of our community because we work where people come to play.
It's party all the time.
The camaraderie we get through climbing mountains, paddling rivers.
There's a thrill to living on the edge, something that really makes you feel alive and feel like you're living every day to the most.
Oh my God!
There's a part of it that feels rebellious and a part of it that feels like you're going back to how we should live, spending more time with the land.
The only time I've ever felt true silence is at the top of the mountain.
I get to work with the best people in the most gorgeous place in the world. We love doing what we do. And I realized that you can be in the most beautiful place in the world and not be sure if you want to wake up the next morning.
The Mountain West is home to some of the most happy states in the country. Yet our suicide rates are sometimes double, triple, even quadruple the national average.
It is dark and sometimes invisible. This epidemic of suicide is a major public health concern and is among the...
We have a true epidemic of serious mental health concerns in our young teens and early adults here.
My daughter, she had 6 classmates who had attempted suicide, and no one was talking about it.
Eagle County, Colorado is a microcosm the United States. Mountain towns have challenges that are sort of amplified, but they are the challenges of our country.
I haven't brought this out in a while.
It's hard for us to ask for help.
Gotta do something. Can't keep losing our friends and our brothers and our mothers to suicide.
Olivia. You know, we want to help. We want it to stop. So sorry.
I think some people may have moved here running from things that they weren't adequately coping with before they got here, thinking that this would somehow or another make all of that go away. And until you fundamentally address the problem, you can run, but you can't hide.
It's the one thing in life that we can all relate to. More than anything else in the world, we can all relate to struggle.
We're pretty fortunate in that the product is the mountain, but it's also the people. Without the people, there is no experience, there is no product.
We have an obligation to be part of solutions around mental health.
You guys know you get free therapy, right?
I cannot believe how fast this is going up.
Together, my father and I are the lead funders on the Precourt Healing Center.
Every person has a common tie to behavioral health.
My great hope is that what we do here becomes in some ways a blueprint for what can be done more largely in the United States.
We have come together as a community to take steps in the right direction to tackle the issue of behavioral health. Together, we're creating profound change, and we're just getting started.
You might struggle with it your whole life, but there's hope for you.
Wow, what a powerful film. Brett, what was your impetus? What was the driving force behind wanting to make this film?
Sure. I mean, mental health is obviously something that affects all of us. It's something that's personal to me, and I've lost close friends and family over the years. And then, several years ago, we embarked on a project. It started out with interviewing the captain of the Olympic bobsled team, Stephen Holcomb. And unfortunately, he passed away just a couple weeks following that interview from an overdose. And it evolved into a film called The Weight of Gold. We partnered with Michael Phelps. You can see the poster behind me. And we ended up recruiting Shaun White and my old friend Bodie Miller and a lot of other incredible athletes to tell their stories. And we really saw it make a huge impact. It came out, during kind of peak COVID, July 2020, when they couldn't even hold an Olympics. And it just reached so many people, and I think affected so many people, we decided to do more. So that was really the genesis of this project, was, learning about some of the serious issues that mountain communities like yours are dealing with, and wanting to make something that could be a part of the solution.
And the statistics are staggering. I mean, just to see what kinds of numbers we have as far as suicide and depression in mountain towns is much higher than the national averages. And it is paradoxical because, like I said, here in Vail, it's beautiful, it's idyllic, it's gorgeous scenery everywhere. Why do you think people in these small communities are dealing with this crisis?
Yeah, I mean, we get into that a good bit in the film to try to explain that. Wherever you go, there you are. And I think a lot of people, move to communities like yours to try to get away from, things not being happy in cities and certain places. But it's not necessarily a panacea. And I think in these mountain communities, you have sort of a confluence of a number of difficult things. You've got a party culture, substance abuse, which is a huge factor. You've got isolation, you've got a lot of gun ownership, and you've got a lack of resources. And I think, one of the main stories in the film is you get to see Chris Lindley and his team there in Eagle Valley, who, with the support of some largely local benefactors, have built a program that we think is best in class, and we hope can continue to inspire programs like that across the country.
Amazing. And one of the tragedies that you highlighted in this film, Olivia, a young girl, she took her own life at the age of 13. And as much as that was a tragedy, it got people in the community motivated to rally and get more resources in Eagle County. That's really inspiring to hear. And, some of the reasons why people can't get help is because it might be too expensive or they don't have access to it. What do you say about all of the resources that have come in as a result of some of these tragedies?
Yeah, I mean, it's always, I guess, a wonderful thing when a tragedy can inspire something positive. I mean, like I mentioned about our film, The Weight of Gold, the tragedy of an Olympian, passing away inspired, a film and a movement around it. So I think that whenever there's something like Olivia and what happened with her, and I've gotten to meet her mother numerous times now, I think that's hopefully tragedy can sometimes inspire positive things.
Well, thank you for all of the important work that you've done. This is a very important topic, and you're shedding light on it so that other people can open up and not feel stigmatized by reaching out for help and needing mental health support. So thank you. Where can people see this film?
Yeah, they go to paradiseparadox.com. We have a website up. There's an opportunity there to host a free screening for your community. That can be 100 people, it can be 3 people. We provide the film, free of charge, along with a discussion guide, so that people can come together. And we've had, I think, close to 10,000 people have gotten together with their communities to watch the film and talk about the subject matter, and most importantly, discuss solutions. And like you said, not feel stigma, because everybody deals with their mental health and everybody goes through challenges. And I think we're have a positive movement going on right now that we're glad to be a part of, that is hopefully changing this paradigm forever.
Thank you so much, Brett. It was a pleasure talking with you. I hope everyone goes out and sees this film. It's very eye-opening, and we'll talk to you next time. Thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
Good morning, Vail.
Next up, we've got a special duo from two of the best voices in the bluegrass and country genres.
We know you're going to love this one from Melanie Cannon and Willie Nelson. Here's Back to Earth.
Songs our love created, I still sing. And every night we make the rafters ring.
Hello, I'm Shervin Rezai here with Chenna Garden in Avon, Colorado. My hobbies are obviously skiing. I've been skiing since I was 3 years old. In addition to that, music's always been my first passion, and you can see that alive and well at Chenna Garden with our little record nook, where we have over 300 records, and we'll continue to grow that collection and play vinyl records for you while you enjoy your cuisine. Chenna Garden is Avon's oldest running restaurant. We've been open since 1988 when my mother set up shop and wanted to begin offering Avon, Colorado the best quality Chinese food that we could get. And I started working in the restaurant when I was 8 years old as a dishwasher making $1 a day. And then one of the servers, pushed by my dad, told me I should ask for a raise, and then I got $5 a day, but then I had to put all $25 at the end of the week into a savings account, which actually helped me out in college. So after college, I went out to New York for law school, and I spent 15 years out in New York City practicing law and working in-house, which exposed me to a lot of restaurants all over the world, all over the country. And after getting exposure like that, I realized that we have this beautiful restaurant here that has so much potential. So in the fall of 2023, we came back, remodeled, and tried to get this back to give that special feel that I've known all my life here. We've been offering a lot of new cuisines, including German cuisine with a good family friend, Gunther Schmidt, who's been serving up authentic German cuisine in the Valley for many, many decades. Why not? This is America. We can serve German food in a Chinese restaurant, and we just let it try. And after a year of it, it's been building up some success, and we're just having a lot of fun just seeing the look of bewilderment on every customer when they're like, how am I getting German food in a Chinese restaurant that's this good, at this quality? Chenna Garden is really all about that community, and that first starts with the local community. We always try to take care of all of us who are working hard, grinding it, so that we can also enjoy what this valley has to offer. And through that, we get a nice mix of word of mouth, tourists who come in. We're looking for something a little more authentic and that has a history with the valley. I'm a proud member of the Avon Vail Valley community, lifelong member as I was born here, and I hope you come out and see us here at Chenna Garden. We're open every day, 4 to 9, any day the mountain's open. Cheers.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back. As we continue talking about mental health, I have with me Scott Doniger. Scott, you are a chronic stress counselor.
Yes.
All right. Tell us a little bit about what that is.
So I help people who are, for lack of a better term, kind of stuck in a state of anxiety or stress that in many cases actually winds up manifesting in some kind of illness that they can't get rid of. So people who are living day to day and they know that they're unhappy, they know that they are searching for some answers inside of themselves, and in many cases they can feel the stress or anxiety in their bodies, but they haven't been able to either find someone else to work with who's helped them navigate through a state of chronic stress, or this is the first time in their lives they've encountered a moment in time that doesn't end. So they're just not feeling well, they're not happy, and it's become a chronic state that they've been living in.
I'd like to ask you about your story because you told me that you were living in a state of stress. You've been a successful businessman, you've had startups, you've had many careers in your life, and you were just living in stress, and you were experiencing what was like a mystery illness. You didn't know what it was.
Right.
And then eventually you realized it was chronic fatigue syndrome.
Correct.
Walk us through this story.
Yeah, I'm actually going to start with a piece of data. The Center for Disease, the CDC, in 2018 or beginning of 2019, did a survey of how many people were officially in the United States diagnosed as having chronic fatigue syndrome. And back in 2019, it was about 1.8 million people. So a lot of people, but in comparison to the amount of people in the United States, a small number. Well, they just did another research study and posted the results this past December, and it's now 3.3 million people. It's almost a doubling in 3 years. And that is outside of the potential effects of what we went through with COVID. The reason I bring this up is because many of us are living in a state of chronic fatigue, but it has not been diagnosed because so many doctors don't really even understand what chronic fatigue syndrome is. As it turned out in my life, I would never have described myself as living in a state of chronic stress, but that's exactly what it turned out to be. And in about 2017, I became ill, didn't know what it was. I went to any number of doctors, from acupuncturists to my general practitioner to neurologists to thyroid specialists to gut and digestive system dysfunction specialists. No one could make me feel better. And as it turned out, the solution and the path back to wellness had more to do with what was happening above my neck as it did what was happening below my neck. I found a wonderful integrative specialist when I moved to Boulder in 2017, and she brought my biophysical health back to normal states. But had I not found a counselor who introduced me to parts work, it's actually the correct terminology is called internal family systems, but in regular terms we call it parts work. It was parts work, which is a therapeutic mental health approach that really got my health back, because what I realized was it was parts of me that were actually carrying so much stress for so many years of my life. And over time, if we don't heal those parts of us, they may get us sick. We would never have thought of it that way, but if we don't help these parts heal, the parts actually can produce and cause illness in the body because they're carrying so much toxic energy from us being in a state of stress or anxiety.
So parts work, as I understand it, is part of internal family systems. That was coined by Dr. Schwartz, correct?
Exactly, Dr. Richard Schwartz.
And how would you describe it? I mean, some people hear it and they're like, oh, does that mean I have multiple personalities? Who are these parts? But apparently we all have these parts, like our inner child and different parts. Explain to us what that is.
Yeah, Vijay, I'm glad you brought it up that way. So there are two really interesting pieces of parts work that I will start out with. People have been writing about different parts of our personalities since the beginning of time. Socrates wrote about parts of us. Shakespeare wrote about different parts of us. And now I would even ask your audience, think about when you're talking with friends and family, many of us actually say this in our lives. Well, there's a part of me that's upset about this. There's a part of me that's happy about this. It is not an epiphany to understand that our inner world is comprised of different parts of us. Most of these parts actually begin formulating when we're young. So it might be a part of us that becomes really shy in school because we feel judged or criticized by other people. So there's a part of us that makes us hide and not be as public as we might otherwise be. There's a part of us that has become like a hider part of us.
Mm-hmm. So yes, I have, my part is, I have this protector part, as a mom.
Exactly.
So if anyone messes with my kids, this part comes out of me, this mama bear protector.
That's exactly
so we all have these different parts. And tell me how parts work helped you.
Yeah, so before I do that, I'll just go back to the second part. The real epiphany in parts work is not necessarily that we have many parts to us. The real epiphany and the magic about parts work is that also in our inner worlds is our self. And that's self with a capital S. The Buddhists would call that our essence. There are other spiritual approaches that have their words. But the self is born with us. It cannot be damaged. The self does not pathologize any of us. Our inner parts and our inner worlds are not addictive. These are all adaptations to the way we've grown up for all intents and purposes. And the self becomes the agent for healing. And so that's the segue to my own journey. When I discovered parts work, I discovered that there was a part of me that I probably had always known was inside of me, but I didn't understand how powerful a role it had played. All of the stress and anxiety through my childhood and my adolescence and even in my early adult years, there was a part of me that I just became familiar with, and I called it the suppressor. Not unlike a lot of people that we know, I kept all of my energy inside of me. I rarely voiced anger or displeasure or anything that my inner world needed to get out. So this suppressor just kept me safe by keeping my voice quiet. Over time, that produces a tremendous amount of toxic energy in the system. As it turned out in my journey through chronic fatigue, I was actually explaining this to you, I had to go see a neurologist because I couldn't understand why I had such horrible head fog and such fatigue from the head fog. And my neurologist, one of the world's leading migraine specialists at Stanford University, who's associated with the Stanford Clinic of Chronic Fatigue, said to me that my amygdala, which should have been the size of an almond, was about the size of a golf ball. And so what he said to me was, he said, look, we can get you healthy, just like my integrative specialist in Boulder, but the work is going to be bringing you out of a state of chronic anxiety and chronic stress. And that will be the agent for healing for chronic fatigue. Parts work helped me understand how to access the energy of self, which is encapsulated in 8 words that all happen to begin with the letter C. Curiosity, calmness, clarity, confidence, connectedness, creativity. I think that's 8. I might be missing one. If we can access that energy, and all of us have access to that energy from time to time, we kind of know it when we're in it. When you're talking with someone and it's just a beautiful, calm flow between them. And you can become that wise self that you know is always there. But so often, a part of us gets triggered by something that happens in our lives, something that someone said. Just think of that Thanksgiving dinner table when the person across from you or next to you says the thing and it all spirals and everybody gets hijacked by a part of them that got triggered. If we can access self-energy, that is what can bring us back to a state of calmness. And that state of calmness is not just an emotional state. It's a biophysical state where our bodies do not secrete more of the neurotransmitters that can become toxic, or the hormones that can become toxic, or the stomach acid that can become toxic. So if we can bring ourselves back into a state of calm and curiosity and self-energy, our bodies respond and we don't get as sick. The illnesses that can be caused by living in a state of chronic stress, which range from autoimmune diseases, rheumatoid arthritis, irritable bowel, migraine headaches, skin rashes. All of these may be caused by parts of us that are simply becoming burned out and have not been healed, and they're not releasing the energy that they need to release.
So do you think our medical system has caught up to this theory that our emotions are connected to our physical health?
It's a wonderful question. In some cases, yes, there are many leading indicators. The doctor that I found in Boulder who brought my biophysical health back, her name was Nicole Silver at Boulder Peak Health, and she is a University of San Francisco trained, Western medical trained integrative specialist, but her philosophy, her approach to helping people heal includes the connection between our emotional state and our physical state. She has not been trained in emotional regulation. That's the role of people like me and other therapists who've been trained. The medical profession is lagging behind, for certain. The good news, though, is that we're having discussions like this, and that's why this is so important for all of the audience out there. It's okay now for us to begin to talk about mental illness and states of anxiety in ways that we never did. The bad news is that we've actually lost the narrative on what these terms actually mean. The New York Times ran a really interesting article this past week with a beautiful visual or video segment on it. And what they called out is this incredible phenomenon that's taking place mostly in TikTok and Instagram about what's called high-functioning anxiety. Well, high-functioning anxiety is not even a thing. It's a hashtag. But there are hundreds of millions of videos and related posts related to high-functioning anxiety, and that isn't even a thing. So we don't really even know what the word anxiousness means. There's nothing wrong with having feelings, nothing wrong with having emotions, but we're beginning to pathologize them. Parts work does not pathologize anything.
Wow.
It is a way to, just one final thing, it's a way to understand what's happening in our inner worlds, which so many other approaches just don't address.
Wow. Well, you brought up a really good point. A lot of people are getting their information, or should I say misinformation, from TikTok about mental health.
That's right.
Yeah, and in many ways, it's the social media, it's the society we live in, it's the culture that is contributing to what is causing us the anxiety and the depression. Thank you so much. Where can people find you? What services do you offer? Do you do parts work with people?
Yeah, parts work is at the core of my approach, and I appreciate you asking me. I have a website, www.scottdoniger.com, very, very easy to remember. Parts work is at the core of my approach. There are some other approaches and other modalities that I bring in. So all of the work that people do on meditation and somatics and sound healing and cold plunges, all of these things are really good, and many of them can be extremely therapeutic when coupled with something like parts work. Parts work is helping a person understand what's happening from the inside out, in their inner world, at the root cause of the things that might be driving anxiety and stress. All of these other approaches can be extremely helpful in the moment. So if someone can begin a meditation practice or a journaling practice every morning, that is going to help regulate their system as the day goes, regardless of what happens. So the work I do is anchored in parts work. For people who have already been diagnosed with complex PTSD, there's an approach that I've also been trained in called components-based psychotherapy, CPB. And it's a beautiful approach for helping people who are acutely diagnosed with PTSD in a complex way. Parts work is actually part of that therapeutic modality. So parts work is the through line to the work that I bring to people, and it is manifestly the most innovative. Having lived through analysts who specialized in Freudian analysis or Jungian analysis, and having that experience, parts work is by far the most innovative and the most effective approach that I've ever come across.
Well, thank you so much, Scott, for the important work that you do, and you've helped so many people, and it was great talking to you today. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much.
Good morning, Vail.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
TV8 te brinda la mejor programación en español todos los días. Sintoniza Conexión Latina los lunes, miércoles y viernes a las 7 de la tarde con repeticiones los fines de semana. Además, te presentamos nuestro nuevo programa Sabores y Creaciones, donde hemos juntado tus recetas y manualidades favoritas en un solo lugar los martes y jueves a las 7 de la tarde. Y por último, disfruta de Daily Flash Latino, con noticias y entretenimiento en tendencia los sábados a las 7 de la tarde. Te esperamos por el canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página de Facebook TV8 Conexión Latina, nuestro canal de YouTube TV8 Vail Good Morning Vail o nuestra página web tv8vail.com.
Coming up this season on Ready, Set, Renovate, we see one couple fall in love with a waterfront fixer-upper.
It sort of wrapped its arms around us and said, you want me, and we did.
And watch as another battles over the budget.
We're trying to look through and see where we can trim at this point.
Are you looking to trim it, Ginger?
No.
No. Construction pros show us the right way to renovate.
Well, we had to do a roof over. We had to hand build a lot of the trusses.
As we're putting the thin set down, the self-leveler has a little clip that clips up underneath the edge of the tile.
Do you have an interesting hobby or skill you'd like to share for Vail Valley? We want to hear from you. We're looking for people to share their musical, artistic, culinary, woodworking, athletic, or technical talents on Good Morning Vail. If you'd like to share your talents with the community, email Danielle at tvavail.com. Join the community conversation. There's more for you on 92.
Daily Flash.
I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to
Mitch English and Andrea Jackson have co-hosted together for over a decade. And now, only on Daily Flash, they serve up a fast, fun, fresh perspective on the day's trending news and entertainment. Daily Flash offers the latest in pop news, celebrity gossip, fashion, health, wellness, and even some unscripted, irreverent, who knows what's next fun. Daily Flash with Mitch English and Andrea Jackson. Trending news and entertainment.
Good morning, Vail.
Hi friends, welcome to Vail Vibes. I'm Avisha Scarborough, and here in Arrowhead today, the air feels crisp, the leaves are changing colors, and it's a perfect day for leaf peeping with some great company, of course. This is Roberto, and we're about to go have an adventure. Let's go, Roberto. Ready? All right. Llama trekking is one of the many offerings from Paragon Guides in the Vail Valley. Co-owner Will Elliott says people love being around these cuddly creatures.
I just think they're a big animal that people aren't around a lot, opposed to like a dog or a cat. You know, you put them on the horse spectrum, but I think they're a little friendlier than horses. I could be biased.
And his favorite thing about them?
That they carry my stuff.
Llamas can carry about 20 to 25% of their body weight.
What's in the pack?
Pack's lunch.
So they're the perfect companion for hiking or picnicking. Will says you won't get much drama with his llamas because of his unique training techniques.
I think llamas get a bad rap about spitting, and some do. And one way we've kind of reacted to that is we spit back at them using a bike bottle. And we often are the winner of that confrontation. You're going to squeeze it right in your face. You're going to have that as a holster, and you're going to be ready because they're going to put their ears back and get ready to spit at you, but you got to be faster than them.
Paragon Guides was started by Will's father in 1978, and they can take you on pretty much any adventure you may want.
Anything human-powered besides rafting, we'll try to create for you if you're ready to go outside. I mean, whether it's bird watching, to llama tours, to fishing, to climbing a 14er, mountain biking, rock climbing, anything to get you out into the wilderness.
So go ahead and explore the outdoors. And as the saying goes, good company along the journey makes the path seem shorter, especially when your companion helps carry your load. For TV8 in Vail, I'm Avisha Scarborough.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome to Street Magic. I'm Elizabeth Stanton with some of the most terrifying stunts, extraordinary extreme escapes, and the most amazing cutting-edge magicians you'll ever see in one show. Get ready to have your mind turned inside out. The hand is definitely quicker than the eye.
It's fake.
America was built on a love for the outdoors. We are a nation of sportsmen, blessed with magnificent natural resources. With broad interests across water and field, we are united in our devotion to nature and conservation. Join us every week for the best shows celebrating the outdoor lifestyle. Outdoor America. Live free.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back. Our next guest is Dr. Heather Hans. She's a psychotherapist who has helped many people heal their mental issues and live their best lives. Dr. Hans, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I wanted to start with talking about some research that you've done. You discovered something called, I'm sorry, I'm getting it wrong.
No,
Okay.
they're long words. Visualization and improvisation.
Can we do this over? Sorry. Visualization.
I feel bad. It's a mouthful.
No. So sorry. I'll start the whole thing over. Welcome back. Our next guest is Dr. Heather Hans. She is a psychotherapist who has helped many people live their best lives. Dr. Hans, welcome. It's so good to see you.
Thank you so much. I'm so thrilled to be here. I love your work.
Thank you. I wanted to start with talking about some research you've done. You discovered something called improvisation visualization. What is that and how does that help people?
Yes, so this is actually a fun way to help your mental health and wellness because, most people don't like to, deal with or uncover some maybe unpleasant patterns that they're working with or stressful memories. And I discovered this in my doctoral research where I was looking for a way to treat young women with anxiety. That was my client base at that time, the majority of my client base. And I had discovered both visualization and improvisation at some other point in time, and come to find out there's all this research on how they can reduce anxiety. So I put them together in a process that's actually also meant to be performed on TV or on stage because it's really entertaining. You think of improv, and it's more than I could say just in a short snippet, but the key is that when you visualize what you want and then you improvise your way there, it not only helps you reach that goal, but it reduces anxiety along the way.
Yeah. I mean, I took improv classes in LA at the Ground
Did you?
Wings, and there's a lot of yes and there's a lot of performance. What does this process look like? I can't imagine it in a clinical setting.
Yes, I'm so glad you've taken it. So you know that part of improv is yes and. You never say no to someone because you keep the flow going of improvisation. And the way I kind of discovered the freeing technique of improvisation is I did a long journey or a long workshop at one point that was in California, and it was all for improv, every day, multi-day workshop. And I felt so free. We were all just making fools of ourselves, rolling around at one point, and it really helped to diminish, perfectionism. Of course, I like to be prepared and have things go a certain way, but with improv, you can't do that. And just being able to be your natural, weird, funny, goofy self, that reduces anxiety. So that was how I kind of came on that one. And then the visualization, I stumbled upon again years ago because I'm very into spirituality and different kind of esoteric and occult studies even, and I found this, this process of visualization. There's tons of research that's been done on it. Everyone from surgeons to lawyers to sports players use it to reach their goal. And through my research, I also found that it helps people reduce their anxiety as they're reaching their goal.
Wow. So have you used this technique in your own life to overcome anything?
Yes, I have. I use it all the time. In fact, when I'm on television, I do the live TV on 9 News, and that has to be very improv because you don't get the takes. But if you think about it, all of life is improv, no matter how much we plan. And so I feel like I use it every day to, when I've had something come up and that didn't go as planned. And the way that I use it is to say, okay, this is, whether it's, okay, I just got the hiccups and I'm about to go on TV, or, or something really big, and personal. I look at, okay, I can do this, and you just have to be very present in the moment. This is why it works. Improvisation is about being so mindful and present right now. And you can't do that when you're thinking about the past or the future. And all of our power is in the now. So yeah, I feel like I use it every day.
That's amazing. One of my favorite quotes is, people make plans and God laughs.
Yes, exactly.
Because life is all about getting thrown curveballs all the time. I tell my kids that too. It's like, you got to go with the flow. You never know what's going to happen. So that's a really important tool to have.
Absolutely. I mean, I think of life as like one series of mistakes and repairs. Because it is. It's like and even with parenthood, as you bring that up, in my research on parenthood, I found out that it's not about being a perfect mother. It's about repairing the mistakes when you weren't present with your kids, and that's what creates the security, that they see that, oh yeah, you can repair that. You don't have to be perfect.
I love that you brought that up, because I just read an article about how it affects children to see their parents constantly on their phones, right? Mm-hmm. And so I try to put my phone away to be present with my kids, like you said, and pay them attention and be there. And that means so much to them. Have you found that, our devices make it really hard for people to be present?
Yes. And your kids are very lucky that you're very conscientious like that, because kids know, even animals can sense, when you're not present. And I know personally we have a rule, like you don't look at the phone at the table, the dinner table, and just like having certain boundaries, but also realizing that the kids grow up fast, and a lot of times all it takes is just a few minutes of connection that really fills people up. You don't have to like never be on your phone or not doing other things, but when you're with someone, to just really be fully present is a gift, and it really doesn't take that much away from the stuff you scroll through that you're probably not going to remember anyway.
Absolutely. And you're a big proponent of holistic fitness, correct?
Yes.
So what is that, and what are some takeaways that people can just start doing today, maybe to feel better?
Oh, I love that. I love that you're asking for practical tips, because it's easy, especially with psychology, to talk. A lot of it you can't see with your eyes, what someone's psychology is, but I like bringing it down to earth like that. When I think of holistic wellness, I just think you can't be fully healthy and whole unless you have the mind, body, and spirit all healthy. Not that we're static or just all perfect and healthy, but at least on that path. And so couple things I would say is, first of all, I think most people know about exercise and how important that is, not just physically, but for your mental health and spiritually as well. In fact, the root cause of anxiety, as far as I'm concerned, this is my clinical specialty, is a spiritual illness. Because you can you can teach people the techniques, but if they don't have that inner knowing, they're going to keep being anxious about new things. So a couple things I would suggest for people is kind of what we're talking about with the mindfulness and improvisation is paying attention to your physical body sensations. That's the easiest, quickest way to get out of your head. So like right now, if you are very quiet, I can hear like the sound of maybe a computer, and you can see the bright lights and things that you normally don't see that aren't even a big deal, you know, the color of the flowers, but just doing that, taking the time to do that helps you get out of your worries, even if it's for a second. And then another thing to do is learn how to put your thoughts on trial. In other words, most people walk around believing that their thoughts and perspectives are reality. And instead, when you have a stressful thought, examine it. Is that true? Is that my perspective? And if it's not true, then you switch the thought. That's how creative we are. We can switch our thoughts and switch our realities by choice, really.
Right.
So yeah, just kind of questioning and then choosing a new thought.
Yeah. There was a philosopher that said the things that we worry about are just in our imagination. They're things that might never happen, probably won't ever happen, right?
Exactly.
Why do you think we're on this hamster wheel of ruminating on worries and thoughts? Do you think it's maybe our culture and society are contributing to this right now?
I'm sure, because there's never like one reason for anything. It's usually a combination. I do think, again, back to the spiritual illness and just illness in general, people are scared to feel calm. They're scared to be with themselves. They're scared to sit in silence. They're scared to, not have approval or. So having a core meaning in your life, something that's driving you, can help with that, because if you don't prioritize your health, you won't be healthy. It has to be the priority, and the healthier you are in mind, body, and spirit, then you're going to be giving more to other people as well.
Absolutely. I say that as a mother. I'm going to use this example again.
Yeah.
Like, I have to take care of myself. I have to prioritize sleep and health and exercise and all the things so I can be the best mom I can be. And, I see some people in this day and age, the hustle culture, they're working long hours, they're getting really worn down and burnt out. And I do think some of these tools that you brought up could be so helpful for so many people, going through anxiety and stress. And can people work with you? Are you taking clients?
Yeah, so I do. I have a therapy practice for Colorado residents, and then I also have coaching. So they're two different things. Psychotherapy, people can get a hold of me. My schedule's pretty full for that, but for coaching, that's a little different. It's more, setting your goals, taking responsibility, and I provide kind of like more consulting in a way, just more education and helping people stay on track. So yes, those are all available. And then I also have a course on reducing anxiety that's very affordable, and that's on my website as well.
Amazing. So what's your website? We'll tell the viewers.
So yes, it's heatherhans.com. Thank you so much. And I also offer live speaking for all sorts of groups, whether it's a company, nonprofits, even social groups, and even families. I do presentations for sometimes.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Hans. I really enjoyed speaking with you today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
All right. Thank you.
Good morning, Vail.
Join us on the famous Leadville Railroad. This historic train ride takes you on an unforgettable trip through the heart of the Rockies for an afternoon of adventure, relaxation, and sightseeing. Our scenic train rides are a perfect place to bring families closer together while immersing them in the natural beauty and rich history of this picturesque region. Enjoy the spectacular Colorado scenery. Even meet the engineer. Make memories that will last a lifetime. Tickets available at LeadvilleRailroad.com.
One of the longest-running syndicated television series is back. America's Black Forum, a weekly series highlighting the latest in our lifestyles, business, entertainment, and finance. We introduce you to entrepreneurs who are making their mark in the business world and leaders who are fighting for change.
Welcome to America's Black Forum.
Tune in each week to know what's happening in our world today on America's Black Forum.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World. Find out where I'll be going next and which celebrities I'll be bringing along with me. I'll show you amazing destinations with lots to explore, and you'll get to know my celebrity guests the way they really are, up close and personal. We'll travel the world, experience new cultures, and together, try to make a difference. I'm Elizabeth Stanton, saying the world's a big place, and I'm going to show it to you. I'm Raisa Pascal.
And I'm Andrea Jackson. Welcome to Life, Love, Shopping. Have any personal stories you can share?
Do I? Yes, I do.
So even though you work for some good deals, too good to miss on flash deals. Now check this out.
Studies show spending time outdoors can help with depression, lowering blood pressure, and overall health and happiness.
Good morning, Vail.
That's it for today, friends. Thank you so much for joining us for Good Morning Vail. I'm Avisha Scarborough, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
From small towns to big cities and